Good afternoon. Video diary, 10th of June, Monday. It is 2:05 in the afternoon. Thank you for watching this. If you have happened by chance, some people are. If you've been a watcher, thank you for at least viewing the accounts of what's happened. These are private accounts, but they are in the public interest, to say the very least. Right, this is directed at the officials, and you know who you are. Right, here's the elephant in the room. Let me spell it out, the thing that's not being considered here. Corruption. Yes, corruption. Corruption within Exeter City Council, and I'll name them. Now, these people are either up to their ears, complicit, got indirectly involved, are now involved, and are up to their necks. Phil Bielak, I've met. Paul Faulkner, I would love to meet. David Bartram, I wouldn't really want to meet. Who else? And Devon and Cornwall Police. Well, the police definitely are corrupt. We all know that. Anybody who's awake and doesn't just watch Countdown and X Factor knows that the corruption in the police is absolutely to the core. And like most things, from the top down. And at the bottom, you've got unsuitable people being recruited by design, it would seem. And some of the people I've met at the Rockface here during this situation, anyway, the evidence speaks for itself. So, with regards to the probation, right, not only was I given an incorrect probation date on one occasion, that was the 31st of August, I think it was. Yes, it was 31st of August of 2022. 23? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, it's on the card. I've got it. It's all in the hands of people who need it. All that's not. I've still got that here. It was in my personal effects because I needed it as a reminder. That event and the continued and endemic complete fabrication, not only of the events, which the police do as a matter of course now, because they need to embellish any interaction they have with anybody for anything in order to garner more statistics to prove their worth. And their worth is tantamount to zero at the moment, except as an adversary for most reasonable people. And I consider myself a reasonable person. I don't hide behind the fact I've had a dubious background. I am not a wife beater. I never have been. And if you want a list of people that I've been out with, women that I've been out with, then by all means, and you can discuss. Perhaps not Devon and Cornwall Police because they got a vested interest, and once the police are a vested interest, then any objection, objective investigation is null and void. That's why the IOPC works as well as a square wheel on something that shouldn't have a square wheel. I'm very tired. I've not enjoyed any of this. It's been an experience. It continues to be an experience. I doubt that I'm going to see the outcome. Certainly, if you play to type, you being my adversaries. So let's just look at one thing why I'm here. So forget my background. When I got here, I had a couple of convictions, and I got a couple more convictions when I first got here as a result of the evident war that I didn't know I was in with my next oldest brother. By the way, you might know him, some of you at the top of the police in different areas. He was the person, Carl Bosley, that had an armed standoff with the police many years ago. I'm not Carl Bosley, I'm John Bosley. I'm the youngest brother of Robert Thirst Bosley and Mary Thelma Bosley. You know Mary Thelma Bosley, who was evaporated in a similarly dubious event in 1972. And no, it didn't mar me. It made my life very, very challenging. And basically basic training for God knows, seemingly for 59 years. I'm just glad that my overriding feeling is not just to gain revenge, because I would need several lifetimes from this last few years alone. The issue that I had that has brought me into contact and confrontation with elements of the Devon and Cornwall police is the fact that they were copied in to unhinged emails, drunken emails, ranting emails, threatening emails, conciliatory emails, outlining, if there is people that can read, outlining what the problem was. Yes, blah, 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 my past, boo-hoo, blah, 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 right? But then council, corruption from a resident's point of view, corruption from a councillor's point of view, corruption and misleading from a resident's point of view who pays his council tax, doesn't often get his bins emptied, doesn't have any police protection for my home, for my guests, either from abuse from other people, from comments from other people, from blatant attacks with weapons, premeditated attacks. You didn't turn up, did you? For 7 weeks, and I didn't phone you. I wouldn't bother. You'd make things worse, which is what you've proved to do. I've done my bit now. You've played your part brilliantly. A judge who sits, what was it, a circuit judge or something, where his name, I've got his name somewhere. If he couldn't see that the man standing in front of him was emotionally broken, physically in bad order, mentally just not at the races. So to be dragged there because you've missed a court date, you didn't want to, I didn't want to, I just want to get my shit done, get the fuck out of here. I'm not going to do that now. That's not going to happen. Because while I'm jumping through hoops adhering to you, I'm going to be making other plans. I'm not going to leave here, I don't think. I don't think I'll leave here alive, but I can live with that. There's still things that can be done to put things right. And until then, this place, I'll use this as something that the community can benefit from. Those members of the community that want anything to do with this place. I'd always intended for this place, and I thought about the name a long time ago, to be a kind of halfway house for anyone with issues, which mean they're going to have to engage with. I don't know who they would engage with now, apart from Rocks Recovery. None of them, none of the others are worth a wank. I've had personal experience of it. As for the Tim Parry and Jonathan Ball, what the point of that is, I don't know. Started by the parents of, kids whose lives were ended, and people decimated by the actions of the IRA. Apparently, if you can believe anything, though you never know. And they were as much use as a one-legged man at an arse-kicking contest. But, at the end of the day, that was it was unsurprising by then. Nothing works. But here's the thing. I'm not an activist. I'm not interested. I wanted to live here in safety. Yes, I have transgressed in the past. And do you know what? I'm not going to say I'm not an angel. No, I'm not. But I challenge any of you people, and you, I mean my adversaries, to have lived the life I've had. I did my best. I raised myself. Many people have to. But many of those people fall by the wayside and end up in prison long term or on drugs. I didn't do either of those. No, I haven't got a trail of battered bodies in my wake. What I do have is God knows how many charges now for threatening this and disturbing this and disturbing that. Well, I was pretty disturbed when I got attacked by two blokes. I was pretty disturbed when I got my nose broken by some bloke. When I was on my own drive, because I had a selfie, because if I have to go out there, I have to take a camera. Because I live in Beirut. Oh, no, sorry, no, I live in Exeter now. Corrupt Exeter. A little tip. Corruption, I haven't looked at the phrase, but, it's normal to try and cover your tracks. You've been doing it for a long time, I know that, because I've had interaction with people in Exeter for a long time, and also being a mid-level professional contracts manager, site manager, labourer, forklift driver, you meet people with all different persuasions and viewpoints, and you get lots of nuggets of information. So what's occurred here was no surprise at all. I bet it's come as a shock to you. What are you going to do now? And whatever you do, how does that change what's in black and white? And I will be sending some. I didn't get time to put it all because there's so much of it. But I'll tell you what, I will send it to Anne. I've realised you don't trust me anymore, Anne. And if you believe that account from the police about me preparing to attack them, then our relationship, be it me as a scumbag and you as a probation officer, is pointless. It's just going through the motions. I struggled with this what should we call it, project experience. It's hard work. It was hard work, and as a result of it, I've had 7 months of my dog's life stolen from me. She's still traumatized. I was traumatized by going to prison, particularly for the reasons I went to prison. It was a protest, period, end of it. It was petulant, it was drunk, and I was livid. And I was livid because not only was I being chased away from this house by Billiac, Faulkner, Alex Bullard, David Bartram, and co. Yeah, I'm a criminal. I've got convictions. But again, I challenge you to find me the evidence of all the scars and pictures of people beaten, battered, broken. I've defended myself. Defending yourself means not when you're with 20 of your uh, pals or 20 of your gang, and you got your belts and your whistles and your tasers and your against some drunk, so you can stand about and have a little chat afterwards, and you do everything but put your foot on the bloke and take pictures. I would say some of you are not fit for that role, and that would be a quite a conciliatory statement. I would say the vast majority probably aren't, but that's probably why we're shipping in loads of people from abroad, isn't it? In these dinghies. I don't know. Some people think along those lines could be called paranoid, but yeah, it's difficult not to be. If ever a circumstance would make an individual who was seen to be in the position I was in would make him paranoid, I don't know what set of circumstances would. You rumbled, every individual last one of you, and there's a lot more recorded than you know, and some of I mean all of it that's relevant to getting this across will be published. I've been delaying it because I need to summarise it. I would like to. It doesn't have to be, but I would like to. So I guess I've got until whenever that hearing is, probably a couple of days until you get me put in prison and get me sorted out on the second attempt. It was so obvious. I was lucky to get away with it. I expected it. Once I knew I was going in prison, this is something else. I did give you the ammunition, but then again, it's called giving rope. And you keep giving. Like I said, I'm not an activist. I'm not interested in fighting other people's battles. Look at what that's done for me here. And Paul English. Don't forget about Paul English, by the way. You've had a lot of things work out for you. You did your research, obviously, on the topographical or the demographics of this area, and the fact that the only people that would kind of look up and think, cool, this could be an issue, were elderly, not IT literate, more than likely wouldn't know the way around a drawing. But you didn't account for me and Paul English, did you? I have told you people in your various guises, states, and whatever face mask you're wearing at the time and time again, sit down together and have a little chat with each other. Because I'll tell you now, when you get all the bits of this puzzle together, it does not look good for you lot. It's accepted that my character is beyond retrieval. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And so are we. Because you view it that way, others might view it a different way. There's also, haven't I been termed a vulnerable adult? Have I ever been termed a vulnerable adult before? I don't think so. The only thing that's happened in the last few years that that hasn't happened before is the IRA thing, the mum thing, the divorce thing, the acrimonious divorce thing, the potential of what Carl Bosley and Lisa Davey were up to. Potential, fucking hell. So you'll be going through these details when they're published and exposed, and my God, will you have some explaining to do? You'll have to get the book of excuses out there, or lessons learned, all that. As I said to Avon Somerset Police, I ain't going to cut it. There's too many other things going on apparently. Anyway, end of message. Thank you.